Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're talking about the Test of Cunning. It's the third, the hardest and the final test in Trial of Sekhemas of higher levels. We spoke enough about the Test of Strength, Test of Will, and now finally I'm going to show you how I finished Test of Cunning. All the tips, all the tricks, combined experience, how to fight the end boss. Use the chapters in the description and in the timeline if you are attention span starved. Otherwise, this is the final guide for the Trial of Sekhemas. I'm really excited. It took a long time, but I'm finally here, so let's talk about all of that today. Choosing the relics is most critical thing to prepare for your Test of Cunning and every other test in Trial of Sekhemas. I spoke about this before, I cannot emphasize it enough. The increase of your maximum honor as well as the increase of your honor loss honor loss resistance is the most important in my humble opinion. There are other very useful relics that you can put into that little tomb or whatever you want to call that thing that starts the trial. However, I think the increase of the maximum honor, simply volume of it, as well as the resistance is critical. That's the first thing. Second of all, when you start the trial, when you choose the trial, as I said many times, it remains my main recommendation to you. Make sure that you choose the path through that map, if you like, the one that affects you with the least number of afflictions, or those afflictions are of non-permanent and non-directly impacting you nature, such as increased prices at a merchant, who cares, or decreased number of choices that the merchant offers you, who cares, those kind of things. You choose that path and you always try and path your way through towards the shrine that restores your honor. You avoid losses of honor as far as the affliction is concerned, like you lose 20 honor every time somebody hits you. Avoid that at all costs. Make sure that you're as conservative as your path is concerned. Don't care about any of these reaches. Don't care about any of the keys. I cannot emphasize this enough. Don't care. Okay, pledges. Pledges are sometimes important and sometimes, so I would avoid it simply if there is a clean path, if there is no affliction path, and simply like get to the next room and you just get some shrine that either restores honor or gives you water. That's my preferred path. However, it is important for you to basically take this pledge if the pledge is available to you and choose again conservatively. Sometimes a pledge will allow you to remove an affliction as well as the boon that you might have. Sometimes you can get those. I'm showing to you one of those choices on the screen right now. So I would choose that. Cool. I'm not gaining anything, or maybe even I'm losing something a little bit, but I'm also losing an affliction. That's a good pledge. But sometimes the pledge really would give you a boon as well as an affliction. So again, choose an affliction that affects you the least. No problems with Test of Strength. We've been through it many times. It's the easiest test. It is the shortest path as well. So again, don't be stupid. Don't rush too much. Be conservative about your movements. Watch my other videos if you want a little more ranting on that topic and other examples shown to you on the screen. However, shouldn't be a problem. Test of Will, a little bit longer, obviously, and I would say the final bosses, those Terracotta Guardians, two of them, are a little bit harder than the Rattle Cage. But with the Guardians, it's a little bit harder. You also need to roll all the time, keep your maximum distance away from them, and roll on the periphery of the room wherever you can. However, you should not have problems, okay? So that's about it. I can only mention one more thing. It's those fire spitting circular things that spitting fire, and the stepping through the fire in order not to be affected by that fire, not to be hit by those little fire spits, is the hardest. What I found as a technique that works the best for me, and hopefully it will help you too, is taking short steps. And I'm talking obviously to people here who are using mouse for controller, not the WASD keys, because I'm not playing a witch with WASD keys. I am playing with the mouse. Maybe that's another mini tip for you. I find it the easiest. So take short steps, click, 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 click. Short steps, not long steps, not long distance runs, but you click close nearby to yourself. Click, 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 click. That allows you to do that short step movement all the time. Those spitting things, they are not that fast, as you can see, which is a good thing. So it gives you actually a chance to escape if you really need to. So at the end of this exciting Test of Cunning, what else is there to add to the whole experience of Trial of Sekhemas beyond what I already told you? So again, preparation is everything. You need to arrive at the Test of Cunning with as much honor and as few of afflictions as possible. Needless to say, but cannot emphasize it enough. You're not going to finish if you are not in that kind of situation. It's simple as that, okay? So, upon reflection now, when I accepted a minor affliction of monsters have plus 50% of health, so they're basically fatter and the fight is longer with them, that is a massive problem and a hindrance, especially when you get to Ashar, the final boss. If you can avoid taking that and taking a punt on some other affliction, random affliction, as opposed to literally just giving monsters half a health extra, do that. Avoid that, because it simply increases the duration of the fight and gives the boss or any of the rare monsters in between a massive amount of extra chances of hitting you. So the shorter the fight, the better for you. So when you are giving them more health, here in Test of Cunning, it's gonna be yeah, very, very, very hard. Okay, so what does the Test of Cunning add literally in the trials that you go in the rooms? It gives to you quick sand, those sand pits that give this sandy kind of shh kind of sound, and that is gonna slow you down and kind of sink you, and it's obviously harder to avoid the dangers and it's easier to fail. As well as it adds pressure plates. It gives pressure plates in 1 or 2 rooms. You may need to step on the pressure plates in order to activate a switch that opens the exit, while all of the other pressure plates, 90% of them I would say, are going to release some kind of minor explosion or a puff of kind of smoke, as well as the poison. So you need to move out of those as quickly as you can if you cannot avoid them, otherwise avoid them. So these are 2 major additions in the Test of Cunning. Everything else is just, everything hits hard. There are a lot of monsters, there are a lot of worms, those sand worms coming out. I freaking hate them. There is, I think, another archetype of a worm that is a smaller worm, but it jumps, it leaps like a flying fish, kind of. It jumps out of the sand towards your location. They're very hard to avoid. Watch out for them, that I can tell you. Be ready. Okay, now let's talk about the final boss, Ashar the Sand Mother, or whatever she's called. It's a scorpion. Oh man, I thought I was gonna die, but as you can see, we're here recording this as proof. I have barely any honor left, only 94 honor left, but I've beaten her. I'm really, really happy now. So, the relief and the adrenaline. So if you say, Gyro, why even do it? Mate, because it's super freaking exciting. That's why I do it, yeah? So what can I say about her? Man, she does so much different stuff, which is freaking crazy. Like, good luck. That's why I'm saying to you, prep is important. Having as much honor to lose is important. If you don't have enough of it, you're simply dead. Like, there is no chance. Anyway, practically, what can I say? Maximum distance, if the room is roughly a circle, then you, my friend, are never going towards the center of that room, and what worked for me anyway, you are moving around the circle, never stopping. You're constantly moving around the circle, unless obviously it's telegraphed that she's about to leap here, so don't go there, change direction. But basically, the main tip, go around the periphery of a circle, constantly spawning your flame walls as a SRS Witch anyway in this build, constantly spawning it. I have no idea how to do it on a melee character. Maybe we'll revisit this. I'll do it for you if I roll a melee or if I level up my monk. But man, ranged would have probably the easiest chance here, as well as outsourcing damage, aka having minions, having totems, having ballistas if you are, our friend mercenary. Having anything that continues doing damage while you are only saving yourself. That is probably my biggest advice for you. Don't make it harder for yourself, do that if you can. What else to say? Well, she attacks in close proximity, never be close to her. She does this circular attack, probably unavoidable entirely. You need to be far away from her as possible. Continue spawning your flaming skulls, even if she's out of sight. Even if you don't see her, don't care, they'll fly and find her. What else? Poison darts. Poison darts are purely random. You may or may not be lucky. There is no pattern there. They are too frequent and they are too tiny to avoid or clearly see where it's telegraphed to fly. Impossible, okay? So just stay on the move. Stay on the move and pray. Stay on the move and pray is one of my advices for you here, my friend. What else? Balbala, listen to her actually. Balbala does alert you to move. So listen to her, mate. It actually helps, believe it or not. She's not just an NPC. She is contextual. she gives you context. I do not know exactly what she referred to when she said get on a platform. She probably says that you need to get on one of those pressure plate platforms. I even tried, as you can see here in this footage, get on one of those pressure plate platforms before Ashar starts leaping out of the sand. So presumably Ashar cannot land on a platform. Obviously it takes a very long ass time to get to this trial, so I only have done it now successfully once. So I do not have other examples of it to prove it, so talk to me in the comments down below if you have. But basically, when she says get to the platform, I guess a quick roll through the platform might save you. Might is a keyword. Might save you that expectation where Ashar might land on you or leap out of the sand underneath you and hit you. So avoid that, obviously. There is some poisoning of your thing that happens, not even from a dart, but probably from one of her spits. I didn't seem to be able to avoid it, but because I had a lot of honor, because I prepared, because I listened to my earlier tips in this video, I have survived. I think purely because of that, man. Purely because of that. Okay. What else is there to say? Yeah, look, she leaps, she creates quicksand as well, she slows you down, so just roll, constantly on the move. If you stop or if you go to the center of the room, you're dead. I don't think you have a chance against her that way. So anyway, I've done it. It means that you can do it. Overall, exciting. Glad I got those 2 extra points. I think you can if I have done it again. If I can be of any assistance to answer any of the further questions, please post them in the comments below. Otherwise, share your own insights. My witch final thing is to tell you again, I showed you my boon, which is insignificant. I showed you my afflictions, which were kept to the bare minimum, which is part of that preparation. Preparation is what I keep hammering here, which is very, very important. As well as the witch herself. Listen, nothing changed in the gear. Gear is rubbish, still as it was. I still have only level 13 minion, skeletal warrior minion. I have +4 to all minion skills, mind you, so watch my guide for this witch. But I have not applied anything. I still have, look at my resistances, only fire is almost capped, cold is at minus, lightning is at minus. I am at level 70, while the trial was at level 66, so there is a little bit of that. And yeah, that's it. That's what I'm gonna wrap up. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time about something else. Goodbye for now.
Beware the scorpion's sting.
Woman or scorpion, no matter.